Good evening. We're going to call the City of Orange City Council meeting, regular meeting, Tuesday, March 24th, 2026 at 6:31 p.m. to order. Roll call, Kaylee.
Councilmember Knight. Here. Councilmember Tiomson. Here. Vice Mayor Grimm.
Here.
Councilmember Stafford. Here. Councilmember Richardson. Councilmember Darms.
Here.
And Mayor Marks.
Here. And tonight we have the invocation from Donna Carroll, Volusia County Sheriff's Office, and then we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise.
Well, I'm going to mess somebody up. I need it lower. Well, let's pray. Thank you so much, Daddy God. Thank you that you are our daddy, that we can come to you with everything, and you're not the father who tends to be angry a lot and insistent a lot, but you love us, Daddy.
Amen.
And Daddy, I ask that you would be with every single one of these folks up here, and you would show them what they need to do. And you would encourage each one of them and love on them. Give them wisdom, God. Bless them, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, number one, absences, we have none. Number two, presentations and proclamations. 2A, we have the Irish American Heritage Month proclamation. City of Orange City, Florida proclamation. Whereas by 1776, nearly 300,000 Irish nationals had emigrated and to the American colonies and played a crucial role in America's war for independence. And whereas 5 signers of the Declaration of Independence were of Irish descent and 3 signers were Irish-born. And whereas in 1792, Irish-born James Hoban provided the architectural plans for the White House and served as one of the supervising architects for construction of the Capitol. And whereas Irish-born Commodore John Barry fought the last sea battle of the American Revolution off the coast of Florida and was recognized by the United States Congress in September 2002 as the first flag officer of the United States Navy. And whereas, since America's inception, Irish Americans have provided and continue to provide leadership and service to this nation's political, business, and religious establishments. And whereas, it is fitting and proper to celebrate the rich cultural heritage and the many valuable contributions of Irish Americans. Now, therefore, I, Kelly Marks, Mayor of the City of Orange City, and on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2026 as Irish American Heritage Month. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the official seal of the City of Orange City to be affixed on the 24th day of March 2026. At this time, we're going to ask Greg Sean Canning, Ancient Order of Hibernians National Deputy Secretary, to accept this proclamation. Would you like to say a few words first before we take our picture?
Sure. Mayor Marks, City Commissioners, ladies and gentlemen, Giagrich Trinona, good evening. Once again, on behalf of the Irish American community in Florida and the Ancient Order of Hibernians, the oldest and largest Irish organization in the world, tracing our roots back to the 1500s as the Ribbon Societies, I would like to express my gratitude for your kind consideration in designating March as Irish American Heritage Month. St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, is without question the biggest celebration of a national day across the globe. Throughout American and Canadian cities, in Ireland, in the United Kingdom and Germany, in Norway and Denmark, Australia, New Zealand, South Korea, Japan, Nigeria, Grenada, and even on the Caribbean island of Montserrat, off the coast of South America, the only other country in the world to declare St. Patrick's Day a national holiday. People were celebrating this occasion and proclaiming themselves Irish for the day. During the month of March, Irish Floridians proudly reflect on the legacy of their Irish forebears, who have contributed significantly in the areas of education, business, sports, literature, science, engineering, medicine, law enforcement, and the arts. These are just some of the contributions that have been made, not only by the Irish, but by so many ethnic and racial groups who came to these United States from the four corners of the world and who have assisted in developing this great country of ours. As the current National AOH Deputy Secretary, the Florida State Secretary, past National Director of the Southern States, and past Florida State President of the Ancient Order of Hibernians, I would like to acknowledge the esteemed honor the Mayor and City Commissioners have bestowed upon all Irish Americans living within this community and the great state of Florida. Goramahagut agus lo ela padrek fe Hanagwich. Thank you, and I hope you all had a blessed St. Patrick's Day.
Thank you. Can I get a picture with you? Can I get a picture?
Oh my God, Goramahagut, thank you.
I do have another proclamation, but I don't see it on the agenda.
Is it part of the monarch?
Yes.
Oh, it's part of that agenda item.
So do it then?
Yes.
Okay. you
It's
got it.
actually D.
Yeah, I just did, it's a presentation, that's why. Okay. All right. Moving on to 2B, fiscal year 2025 audit presentation. I was gonna say, you're not Tammy. Tammy Campbell McDermott Davis is presenting. Hi.
Good evening. I'm Tammy Campbell from McDermott Davis, presenting the results of the 2025 annual fiscal year audit. So a few highlights. The city received an unmodified audit opinion, and that's the best type of opinion that the city can receive. The city once again was subject to both a federal and state single audit, so that involved looking at a little more detail in a few of the major grants for the year, and the city was in compliance with all of those requirements that we tested. The 2024 financial statements received the Certificate of Achievement, and that was the 24th consecutive year the city has received that award. And this report is also being submitted to the program, and we believe that once again you will receive that Certificate of Achievement. We'll go over some of the citywide financial statements as well as looking at the general fund and your enterprise funds, so the utility fund and stormwater fund. Looking at the general fund, expenditures increased 28% and revenues increased 18%. So both increase in revenues and expenditures, resulting in a slight decrease of fund balance, looking at $2 million of a decrease. Some of the key components of that general fund activity: there was $3 million in revenue from the city of DeBary related to the fire department services, as well as $3.7 million of capital expenditures, so spending on those large capital projects in the general fund. For the utilities fund, again, increases in both revenues and expenses. The utilities did have an increase of $3.2 million. A big component of that increase was $2.5 million in capital grants and connection fees. So those are funds received either grant related or for new customers connecting to service that will be used most likely in future years on capital improvements. The stormwater fund did have an increase in fund balance of $1.4 million. There was one new accounting standard in effect for the current fiscal year that did impact the city. It relates to the way government standards are now changing the reporting of compensated absences, so vacation and sick time. Under the old model, it focused more on what was due if employees were to leave. This new model is focusing on accruing that liability as the employees earn it, and considering the portion of vacation and sick time that employees are going to use in the future as vacation and sick time, not necessarily paid out on retirement. So a result of that standard does require you to restate beginning balances as if you had always done it under this new way. So there was a small change in beginning fund balance as a result of adopting that new standard that came into effect this year. All of the city's investments, once again, are in prime, Florida safe, and well-established investments. Looking at the city as a whole, positive net position. So this citywide includes all of the city's capital assets as well as long-term debt. So both the governmental activities, business-like type activities, and city as a whole had positive net position. For the general fund, looking at the trend over the past 5 years, we do see that increase in revenues and expenditures. That large influx in revenue in 2022 is the ARPA revenue. That was that one-time federal grant money, but non-recurring revenue source. Looking at current year general fund revenues by source, ad valorem makes up 37% of your total revenues. That's common, that's a large portion. Something to keep an eye on and keep in mind with the uncertainty of future ad valorem taxes. Looking at general fund expenditures by type, for the functions, public safety, that's your police and fire. Like most cities, that's your largest portion of expenditures. And similarly, personnel costs are the major type of expenditures. Looking at unassigned fund balance of the general fund, the unassigned fund balance is fund balance that has no internal or external restrictions on how it can be used. So there's the most flexibility in the use of those funds. While it has decreased over the past few years, as we'll see on the next slide, it's offset by some other changes in some other components of general fund balance. So looking at some of the larger categories in the past few years, assigned fund balance, that's money that you've internally set aside primarily for planned capital improvements, knowing that those capital costs, you're saving up to use your fund balance rather than borrowing to construct those assets, as well as setting aside funds for future disaster response expenditures. And the committed fund balance in the past 2 years relates to that adopted fund balance policy. Again, setting aside a set amount of your fund balance so you have that future cushion for disasters and those unknown expenditures to make sure that you're keeping that stable fund balance. General fund liquidity, and these are the cash balances in the general fund, so we can see still a stable balance of cash with that flexibility to operate and no concerns there. Switching to the utilities fund, we can see that revenues again are exceeding expenditures, showing that those user charges are funding the activities within the fund. major revenue sources, as we would expect, both water and wastewater charges for services make up the largest portion of revenues. For utilities fund expenditures, depreciation and personnel costs are large percentages. This year there is more in the other category. That includes a loss on disposal of some capital assets. So they were no longer in use, so they were disposed of, and that caused an accounting loss during the year to fully expense and write those assets off. Looking at utilities fund net position, we can see those increases. The largest portion is the net investment in capital assets. So one thing to keep in mind that's your infrastructure and assets, so that portion isn't liquid and easily spendable. Looking at the stormwater fund, revenues and expenditures are pretty comparable, so that allowed for that slight increase this year. And again, looking at net position, like the utilities fund, the stormwater, the largest portion is that net investment in capital assets, so those assets. We didn't have any current or prior year management comments, so internal controls operating effectively. We did have one comment on the city's investment policy. Since the city has decided to adopt their own investment policy, part of that policy that was in effect in 2025 required both the city manager and finance director to obtain 8 hours of CPE. With the old city manager leaving, we did not have documentation of those 8 hours. We didn't see that as any concern because the finance director had those hours, and the city's current investments are what's allowed under Florida statutes if you didn't adopt an investment policy. So you're not in any risky investments, any concern that there's no education or knowledge around those investments. Overall, again, the city has stable fund balances, and the SRF loans did increase. You have a lot of projects going on, so we expect that to keep fluctuating based on what's drawn and what's paid down. So something just to be aware of, so you know that debt out there, but overall not a concern. And if there are any questions, I'd be more than happy to address them.
Any questions from the council? No? Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Oh, City Manager?
We do need the council to motion to accept the fiscal year 2025 audit and pass that under the presentation.
Okay. So we just need a motion? We have a motion on the floor?
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question. Mr. Waters, did you want to say something?
No, Madam Mayor.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I must just have that look.
All right. Councilmember Thompson,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm,
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford,
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson, Councilmember Darms,
Yes.
Councilmember Knight,
Yes.
Mayor Marks.
Yes, and the 2025, fiscal year 2025 audit is approved. Presentation? Accepted. Thank you. Okay, moving on to 2C, 2026 4th of July informational presentation. Ashley Gay.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, Ashley Gay, Parks and Recreation Manager. So we're talking all things semi-quinticentennial. All right, so in recognition of our nation's 250th anniversary, so we kicked things off around the Parks Department, posting various banners in all seven of our parks. And then moving on, decorating around the city, we've installed pole banners, which we typically don't have pole banners from 1792, so those were added. And then the nice column banners in front of City Hall. So we've incorporated patriotic theming through 2 events. So our Nature Fest event, we had our patriotic slide, which is on the left. And on the right, we're going to be having for our April movie, we're going to have a patriotic water slide, and we're going to turn our movie for April, since the splash pad is up and running, we're going to turn it into a splash bashy type of event with the movie. So we'll see how that goes. So the kids are very excited. Even though it's cold to me, they're in that splash pad. So moving along, so for our big event in July, we changed the name. So it's Orange City America 250 Freedom and Fireworks. So we have a 12-minute show typically for our fireworks event. So we went back to them and said, what can we do additional to, make this, special for this celebration? And they're going to open, the grand opening is going to be red, white, and blue. And then during mid-finale, they're also going to do a display of red, white, and blue. So we're bringing back Fran's favorite band, the Groove Slayers. Yes. And, but in addition to that, we're addressing some concerns, additional concerns to bring in better sound along with that band. So that's going to be resolved. And then we typically have 5 different things for the children to do: obstacle course, slide, bouncy houses. So we expanded upon that. We've doubled the amount. So it's going to be a big kids zone area this year. And then something that we've never done in parks, I know Ms. Marks has done in her event, but we're going to have the big foam cannon. So every 30 minutes, we're going to set the foam cannon off and squirt the kids down foam. So we're excited to see how that's going to work.
It's fun. I did it.
Yes. So we have some giveaways, which you have the little necklaces right now, branding the city with the 250. We also have purchased already 1,000 flags to be given out at the city tent, and those cute little star glasses. So we do have a few lighted rings, just as from leftover backstock, but we're focusing on patriotic items. So
Very nice.
So with that, do you have any questions or?
Very exciting. We just brought this to let you know why you're seeing the early celebration, the items that we don't normally do. We just kicked off this celebration a little early. We wanted to share with you what has been added and expanded. And if you had any questions or any requests, we could look to see if there's anything reasonable, but this is what staff has done in order to commemorate the 250th birthday, and we just wanted to share it with you.
Go ahead.
If you go into this foam thing.
Wait a minute. Microphone.
Oh, sorry. If you go into this foam thing, do you come out of it wet?
I've
Yeah,
seen
a
it done
little
at the
bit.
state park, and it's not going to be where you have there's not going to be a tarp. It's just an open area with the grass, so they're just going to shoot it off, and whoever's in that area.
Is going to get.
They look like they're sweaty when they come out of it, really not wet, so
Yeah, it basically
Yeah.
cools you off a little bit.
yeah.
It's not like
I'm just wondering what
dunk
the
tank or
parents are going to be thinking,
they'll be in it too.
It'll be hot, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Any other council comments?
I think it looks like it's going to be great.
Yeah. Great presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, do we need to vote on anything for you?
No, ma'am,
No?
I'm up
Okay.
next, that's all.
Okay. You don't want to sit down and get back up? Okay, 2D, it was under new business, National Wildlife Federation, Mayor's Monarch Pledge, Presentation and Proclamation. Ashley Gay.
Okay, so we're talking all things monarchs. So for 35 years, they've clocked that that they're estimating that they've lost 1 billion monarch butterflies. I do have a presentation. So talking just through a little bit of what we can do to support that, and that of course would be to provide appropriate habitat for the monarchs, specifically milkweed and nectar plants for food and shelter. So Orange City began awareness efforts in 2019 that focus on habitats to support our pollinators. So was anybody here for that 2019? We released butterflies. We were at Dickinson Park, and we dedicated it as being a Monarch City location. So that was our first efforts in increasing nectar plants and habitat for the milkweed. And so we continue that on. So since 2019, Dickinson Park, while sometimes it's a little bumpy, especially during the winter months when it kills most of my plants, but we continue our efforts. We're always replenishing the plants there, since it's important to our pollinators. Oh, thank you. Okay. So again, they became Monarch City USA, Dickinson Park. If you haven't gone over there throughout the year, there's monarchs there, you know, constantly. And our pollinators too, our bees as well. So from there, we added, and all 7 of our parks, they have Monarch Garden. So Coleman Park on the left, we have the Evelyn and Robinson Playground, and Monarch, you know, nectar feeding plants. And on the right, that was someone's posting at Oak Park, so I thought that was pretty. I'd put that in. So again, all 7 are parks we expanded what we were doing in 2019. So from 2019 to 23, we had all the parks on board. Then our VIA came aboard, and they decided to apply for a grant with the Florida Wildflower Foundation, Viva Florida Landscape Demonstration Grant. So if any of you have not attended, gone by Alberta's Cottage, we have lots of lovely things there. And Leah Brooks does a wonderful job with upkeeping it, and, you know, doing wonderful programs. And I'll share with you a few things here. But the final one is this year we've already started to plant, thinking outside of parks. So John Peters actually planted Florida natives in our 440 Holly project, that was the parking lot on 440. So that's what the plants will look like. He has black-eyed Susans there. So at the cottage, you will see this educational signage and talks about the different plants that are in the garden at Albertus. And it also is a segue into what Leah Brooks does. Since she's a master gardener, she provides ongoing education for the community. So I don't know if you guys have seen when she brings homeschool groups and school groups through there, teaches them about pollination and collecting seeds. And it's just a way to connect the children back to nature. So, and then that transferred over into Nature Fest. They set up a table, brought some of the seeds, gave free seeds. Ace Hardware was also giving out seeds. So trying to get, you know, seeds out into the community so people can take them back to plant gardens in their house. So here we are with Councilmember Grimm's request, Vice Mayor Grimm's request, for the National Wildflower Federation. So we were not part of this, and so this will be expanding, moving forward to expand our program, our initiative, our Monarch initiatives. So this is a national initiative, and if we move forward with the Mayor's Monarch Pledge, we would be the 3rd city in Volusia to do so. So already DeLand and Ormond Beach have already taken this pledge. So what the pledge means is there are 30 action items, and you have to at least do 3 of those items. And then there's some that you should do every year, and there's reporting each year. So just looking ahead, 2 of the areas that we've identified was those curbs areas on Graves and Holly, to do some additional plantings around the city to start to expand it out even further into city areas. So just wanted to let you know that. So we're asking for permission to move forward with the proclamation and approval for the mayor to complete the Mayor's Monarch Pledge. Okay.
I also wanted to add that we did the Eagle Scout butterfly project there at Dickinson. That was a big addition to it.
People love to do that. They love to take pictures in front of that monarch. And one of the things was if we could do a mural or something. I know that we had asked the local businesses about that, and not sure, you know, if we get there. But there's other things we can do to turn our Nature Fest into a monarch festival as opposed to Nature Fest. So different things. I don't know if you've seen the action items, but there's different things that we can do to expand upon it, and we're excited to continue to our efforts and to support our pollinators.
So does that mean Vice Mayor has to do all the reporting and everything since it was his? At this time, would you like him to read the proclamation? Or do we, yeah?
And
Or do we have to do a motion first?
I believe you can just take the action by reading the proclamation and then approve your pledge, and we'll take it from there.
And
We already-
Mr. Waters will do a motion for approving the pledge, or?
That
Okay,
would be fine.
okay,
yes.
go ahead, Vice Mayor.
Thank you. City of Orange City, Florida proclamation, whereas the monarch butterfly, Denius plexippus, is one of North America's most iconic pollinators and is also known for its remarkable migration across the continent. And whereas monarchs' population have declined significantly due to habitat loss, reduced availability of milkweed and nectar plants, and other environmental pressures. And whereas monarch butterflies rely on milkweed as the sole host plant for their caterpillars, making the planting and protecting the native milkweed and pollinator-friendly plants essential to their survival. And whereas protecting pollinators like the monarch butterfly supports biodiversity, health ecosystems, sustainable agricultural, and whereas local governments, residents, schools, community organizations can help monarch populations recover by creating pollinator habitats, reducing pesticide use, and supporting conservation education. Now therefore, I have to say your name?
You do,
Oh, man. I, Kelly Marks, Mayor of City of Orange City, on behalf of the City Council, do hereby proclaim March 24th, 2026, Monarch Butterfly Conservation Awareness Day in Orange City, and encourage residents who support monarch conservation efforts, including taking a Monarch Day pledge and participating in community environment observations such as Earth Day and Pollinator Week. In witness thereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Orange City to be affixed on this day, March 24th, 2026. Kelly Marks, Mayor, City of Orange City.
Ashley, so who, will we give this to the person that emailed us about, pushing this through? Okay.
We could. I mean,
So we all received an email from somebody that asked us to take this initiative in Orange City, and then Vice Mayor brought it up under new business to bring it back so that we could do that, and that's where we're at right now before we make the motion. So we just want to know whose hands to put it in.
Well, it comes back to the city for now, and then we'll reach out to who, the
Yeah.
email was forwarded to me, and then the next step for the pledge is all done online and filed directly with the national agency, so.
Okay, thank you. So we just need a motion to approve the Monarch Butterfly Program?
I'll make a
Second.
mo, oh,
That's correct.
I'll make a motion that we accept the Monarch program and declare, was it March 24th?
Right.
As the Monarch Day? Conservation Awareness Day, March 24th, 2026.
A second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question. Kaylee?
Vice Mayor Grimm,
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford. Yes. Councilmember Richardson. Councilmember Darms,
Yes.
Councilmember Knight,
Yes.
Councilmember Tiomson,
Yes.
Mayor Marks.
Yes. And the Monarch program is approved and the proclamation. Thank you. Okay, we're moving on to number 3, citizens' comments. First up, we have Patrick Murphy.
Thank you, Mayor and Council Member. Patrick Murphy, 678 Swan Range Road in Orange City. That's Blue Springs Villas. 6 months ago, I was deciding if I would run for political office. Along that journey, as I looked at running for the at-large council position, I decided to support the incumbent Councilwoman Knight. As I was looking at possibly running for Volusia County Council District 1, I found another excellent candidate, Wendy Anderson, who I now wholeheartedly support. Wendy's story begins long before she entered public life. Raised in a family rooted in dairy farming and community service, she spent her childhood learning how much land, water, and people depend on each other. For the last 25 plus years, Wendy and her family have called Volusia County home. Wendy never planned on becoming a public figure. Her career began in the classroom and in the field, studying how water moves through landscapes and how communities can grow without sacrificing their quality of life. But as new developments transformed Volusia County and residents began facing increased flooding, strained infrastructure, and rising costs, Wendy found herself stepping into a different kind of role, one that required her to represent the public interest, not just research it. Her background was uniquely qualifying for a local candidate, a PhD biologist with an MBA, decades of hands-on work in environmental planning, and a track record of building partnerships across universities, local governments, and community groups. At Stetson, she led the environmental department, helped launch the Institute for Water and Environmental Resilience, secured state funding to address water pollution in some of Florida's most vulnerable areas. Those experiences, combined with her years of service as an elected soil and water supervisor, shaped Wendy's belief that effective leadership means more than casting votes. It means understanding the consequences of those votes. Wendy's running because the county's decision should reflect real expertise, real transparency, and a commitment to the people who already call Volusia home. I think in the county, this county district, Orange City is the small city. I have asked Wendy to come and speak to us. I'm hosting a meet and greet at Knuckle Sandwich Saturday at 5 o'clock. Food's on me, talking's on her. So everyone in the community, please come by and meet her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next speaker is Narita Williamson.
Hi, my name is Narita H. Williamson, and I live at 811 Gunnison Drive in Orange City. I have some questions and concerns about the curbside trees that's in Cadence and Park Hill community. Who approved the types of curbside trees planted in Cadence and Park Hill community during development? The city does not have an arborist or city forester on staff who are experts in their fields. The curbside tree in front of my home is growing and the roots are visibly expanding right next to the sprinklers. Here's a list of unforeseen problems: buckled sidewalks and curbs, foundation damage, underground utility damage, driveway cracking, damaged plumbing, irrigation and sprinklers damage, high cost of problematic curbside tree removal, trip hazards, uneven concrete slabs, erosion, sinkage, chips in the concrete sidewalks. Cadence and Park Hill community homeowners currently experiencing this problem is 811 Gunnison Drive and 827 Gunnison Drive. Who conducts yearly professional inspections on the pedestrian walkways to ensure safety and reduce liability, since it is the responsibility of the city to maintain? ADA compliance is in jeopardy. Stuck hazards, gaps between explosion joints caused by deterioration and widening gaps. The documents I submitted via email to each council member substantiates finding a quick solution to this existing problem with curbside trees, avoiding lawsuits from property damage. Discontinued approving curbside trees that are not suitable due to their potential growth and roots expansion. Volusia County curbside trees report outlines the problems in detail. D.R. Horton Incorporated planted curbside trees throughout our community, and homeowners are not aware of the potential problems as they continue to grow. I request public records pertaining to approval of the curbside trees planted in Cadence Park Hill community. Joyce Ruiz provided the documents in a timely manner. To close, I would just like for the council to take into consideration that I am a homeowner living in this city for the last past 5 years, and each time I've come up here, it's always been a problem with my house. I am retired and I'm on fixed income. I cannot afford these expenses that might potentially occur. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. City manager will address that through the email, or, because I know we,
have been in communication.
okay. Thank
We
you.
have been in communication and we will continue.
Thank you. Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda. We need a motion for that?
I have a question.
Okay. First, Councilwoman Knight.
I have a question regarding one of the items on here.
We gotta pull it.
You have to pull it.
So what item do you want pulled?
It is the one regarding the agreement between the City of Orange City and Daryl Victor.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to pull that for discussion after, you have, so, correct, she can ask to pull that item?
Yes,
You want to
Madam
explain
Mayor.
it? Okay.
So, Madam Mayor, you're aware that that item would be pulled, so you would make, whoever makes the motion to approve would
Right.
just approve everything but that item.
Okay, so you're interested in pulling, what letter is it?
D.
D.
Okay, so 4D, and then Councilwoman Thompson?
My item was consent agenda item E.
Okay. Any others from the council? Okay, so whoever makes the motion, we're looking to approve or not approve the consent agenda, and we're gonna pull 4D and 4E.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the removal of items D and E.
4D and 4E.
4E and 4D, sorry.
Okay.
My second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Richardson? Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and the consent agenda passes without 4D and 4E. Now we discuss 4D. Councilwoman Knight, would you like to start that off?
My question is, have we ever in the past gone ahead and offered up any property to an individual without opening it up to other citizens as well?
So I'm going to say I had asked that question to the manager yesterday. To our knowledge, no, but the comment was from the city manager that it was already offered to, you go ahead and
Well,
explain
no,
it.
I would ask that Kaylee be offered the opportunity to explain how we got these two items on the agenda. She is the one who met with the VIA and at that time, Mr. Victor. So I think she can provide some needed information that will help us get to where we need to be tonight.
Okay.
All right, so I apologize. I was just trying to look up the date we last accepted the agreement with the DeLand Shuffleboard Club. But there was a provision that was approved, and that was to advertise the items, the remaining items, after the DeLand Shuffleboard Club was able to go through them. And it would open it up to anybody that was interested in any of those items. And individuals can still reach out to me at this time. We still do have items that can be gone through in the storage unit, and we do obviously need to either find them homes or, just dispose of them, unfortunately. However, it was advertised, newspaper, website. I can do it again if you'd like. But once you accepted that DeLand, the first DeLand agreement, you also in that motion had a provision to advertise it and to open it up to anybody else that was potentially interested in those items. The VIA reached out to me and ultimately asked if they could come look at some of the items, and of course I said yes. I originally was supposed to meet with Leah Brooks and Kim Redding. Kim Redding unfortunately was unable to get off of work in time, so I'm not sure how Daryl Victor came into the situation, but ultimately Leah and Daryl met me at the storage unit. Leah had been communicating with Kim. She had a number of items that she, from her time here at the city that she potentially was looking for, and that was some of the signage that's listed in the exhibit. I can also show pictures of the items if needed. However, that is how that came about. They're only interested in, I think, 3 signs, a chalk caddy, and we have cast iron bench legs from like an older bench. And then Mr. Victor was interested in one of our, it's like a disc caddy with like the little pucks in it. We have around 60 of those, and the DeLand Shuffleboard Court was not interested. They said they had an overabundance of pucks, and they also reached out to numerous other shuffleboard clubs throughout the state and also asked if they would, want any of those items, and they've all declined as well. So that is kind of how this situation
I just wanted,
unfolded.
a constituent had mentioned it, and I just wanted
Yeah.
to make sure that,
And if they have
we
any
didn't open
interest in the
ourselves up
items,
for,
Yeah.
for any issues.
And if they
Okay,
have any
so-
interest in the items, I'm happy to set up a time to meet with them if they want, to potentially take some of those items or not. It's,
So the conversation I had with city manager, in the past, I've always been used to the VIA who had first dibs on everything because they are holding the records of the city for many years, right, from the 1800s. So that was always kind of an agreement to do that. I didn't know they advertised it and all that. So that was my first concern, was to make sure they got first dibs on it. But then also, the second concern was I asked if Kim Redding could be there because she's so well versed on it that there may be something that she sees that someone else may not know because she's been studying it for so long, right? So I personally would like to see Kim look at it before we release it to anybody else, for the VIA, of course. And then after that, then I was basically what Kaylee said was if we go out and advertise again, they already advertised it, nobody really saw it. Victor was interested in it. He's obviously interested in the history of Orange City. I think our city manager said that the VIA and Victor have been communicating on this too, of the history. And so if he's interested in preserving the history, I think that's great. I wish there was more people that did that because we're losing some of our history lately, so it would be nice to preserve it. So that would be my ask to the council, is to let Kim look at it before we release it to Victor, no offense, or anybody. And then after that, Can you come up?
So, Mayor, Kim did want to come, and she planned to come. When she couldn't get away from work, we videotaped everything. She's seen everything. So she actually I didn't even make any decisions about what to keep. She's the one who made all the decisions about what to keep.
Okay.
So we were communicating while we were at the storage unit. So if that makes you feel better, she's seen everything.
Okay, thank you. Sure. Council, any comments on this? So are you okay with the way it is then?
I'm okay with it.
We have,
Vice Mayor?
no, Vic,
Yeah,
good?
hold on. You want to say anything?
I'm good.
Okay. Victor, would you like to say anything?
Apologies. Good evening. I just wanted to say that in my work with the federal government, I've also been have taken a live animal on behalf of the federal government as a steward. So until she unfortunately passed away for years, so I also know the responsibility. I don't plan to sell it. There's no commercial. I've already signed the application or the agreement and understand what the spirit is of this, and there is really no value. And everybody's welcome to come to my house who hasn't come before to my house, but my home is really more of a museum. So this is I know how important the Shuffleboard Court is to Orange City, so it's going to be there as an homage or an honor of Orange City. So thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to make it clear that I never thought anything like that. It was just, I wasn't thinking about the value. I was just thinking about to preserve it, just so you know that. So, okay. So at that point, we just need, do we need a motion?
Are we able to just make a motion to approve it?
It would be a motion
Yes.
to approve the agenda item 4E.
D.
4D.
Right. So 4D, we need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve agenda item 4D.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any more public comment on this? Okay, we'll bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson? Mayor Marks?
Yes, and 4D is approved on the consent agenda. Moving on to 4E, Councilwoman Thompson, I believe,
Yes.
pulled that.
Yes, I did. The reason why is, I know that this was something that we previously approved, I believe. And then we solicited bids, and this was an approved vendor. I just wanted to put it out there. I saw that there was an increase in the financial impact, and I know that we're going to be looking through a budget amendment for this, but I wanted to just find out the increase was significant, and I was just curious as to what was the changes in the original, what we had budgeted for and what they provided.
I'll let Robert correct me if I'm wrong, but at this point, what you had approved was the concept that we were going to secure the facility, and
Right.
we appropriated funding. When we solicited the cost, it came in higher. And based on that, that's what's prompted the need for the increase. So I would surmise that we had under budgeted originally. We did not make significant changes to what we needed to do. I would argue or would consider that we had under budgeted our request. Robert, would you agree, or would you like to clarify? I agree with you. Thank you.
So we under budgeted.
Correct.
Okay, so we're looking at increasing it by about 25,000, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Anything else?
It just seems very, like a very large under budget. I was just curious about.
That's unfortunately where we stand.
Can I chime in? Are you still
Sure,
going?
absolutely.
So, do we usually put $25,000 on a consent, though? I think that's where she's going with it. It's when we under budget or over, well, we don't over budget usually, right? We usually
We come
budget.
in under
Not too
budget
often,
quite
but-
frequently.
Yeah. So when we under budget, what's the amount that is the threshold that it would make it to the consent agenda? Is that what you're saying?
I think so, because when it's under the consent agenda, it just doesn't have the exposure that we under budgeted, right? Or the exposure that we over budgeted, whatever the case may be. It just doesn't put it out there as a.
Elaborate on exposure.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's no, if I may, Madam Mayor,
Yeah, I was
there's no
gonna-
legal requirement or threshold amount for consent agenda amounts. We've approved $20 million contracts on consent agendas.
Okay.
I think,
Well-
I think that Councilmember Thompson, it's transparency, I think is what you're kind of getting
Yeah, I
at.
had no
is
question on the
you
legality of it, and I appreciate that you asked that question, but yeah, I just want to know from a, just a transparency standpoint, we're going to come through later on with a budget amendment, I understand that. But I would think that we would do that all in one, so explain to me why we wouldn't at that, why would we put it in a consent agenda it doesn't get discussed, and then we discuss it later in a budget kind of
Well,
amendment.
An item on the consent agenda can always be discussed. You have demonstrated that by pulling 2 of those items.
Correct.
So the transparency in the process is being followed. I don't really understand the concern for not being transparent because it was in the agenda, it was spelled out, and now we're discussing it. Now, if you chose not to discuss it, it's still being done in the public. You're still taking that action. There is nothing that says a dollar threshold warrants consent or warrants not being on consent. I
No,
can
and I
tell
get
you,
that. I
we
get
operate,
that.
when I talk to staff and we're figuring out what goes on consent, we are typically making sure or trying to ensure anything that goes on consent isn't necessarily going to be pulled. If we think an item's going to be pulled, we do not put it on the consent agenda item. So at this point, this is just an item that is arguably was budgeted at $50,000. It's come in at $64,000 or $14,924.29 higher. And then because of that, we've done our standard, we need a 10% contingency, but we haven't agreed to spend that. That would be the contractor gets in there, they go to do some work, and they find something that has to be addressed. There's a conflict in where the wires are going, there's a problem when they open up the wall and there's damage and they have to fix it. That's what that contingency is for. The estimated budget from staff was $50,000. The proposal is $64,924 to address the improvements needed to safeguard the water source that we are
Oh, no, I
charged
totally
with.
understand that.
So that's the explanation. I'm happy to consider going forward with staff, maybe a threshold of when we put something on consent, but you are addressing it publicly. You address it whether it's on the consent or under discussion and action. It's quite, I could go back and show you numerous times where we've approved something and then in the mid-year budget amendment, we address it then or what have you. This is a
Sure.
very common practice for this council.
Absolutely. I've been in the meetings where we've done that, and I've seen that up here on the
Oh, yeah.
dais, even when I wasn't here. So that was just really my question was, yes, it's on the consent agenda, and yes, it's there readily to be read, but I would arguably say something to the effect of whenever there is an under budget by X amount of dollars, maybe that's something that you could put into place. Because I would think that if we're budgeting, we're kind of looking at what a bid would be, right? So not just arbitrarily saying $50,000, we would have been kind of getting our ducks in a row to do the budget for that, right?
It was probably based on known cost factors at the time.
At the time.
And either costs have gone up or component parts have gone up.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha. All right, and then the second part of that.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Robert's trying to get.
Well, Councilwoman Thompson's got the floor right now, so
No,
you could come
Robert,
on
that's
up,
okay.
Robert,
Come on.
though. Come on up.
I would love to hear what you have to say. I'm sorry.
Hey, so I just want to explain how we got that $50,000 number and kind of the series of events that happened since. So around March last
Sorry,
year.
I can only hear whispering.
Can you guys take it outside if you're going to talk, because we can't hear him that well? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
So around last year, we awarded Empire the bid for Mill Lake. That price came in about $43,000. So we assumed a little bit extra than that. So we assumed
Oh,
50,
gotcha.
just to have a buffer for like an inflationary. And then come to find out, I think it was earlier this year, if not last year, is when we had to have that large change order for a lot of electrical.
I remember that, yes.
So because of that, yeah,
That's why it was off or skewed.
correct.
As it were.
Yes,
Okay. That makes a whole lot of sense, and that's how you came to that, and that's all so that's why I pulled it. So thank you for the information.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
With
so
that
we-
being said, should I make a
Yeah, I was
motion?
gonna say, we need a motion.
Yeah. So I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda item 4E.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Knight?
Oh, yes. I'm not used to being first.
Sorry. Councilmember Thompson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson? Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and item 4E on the consent agenda passes. All right, moving on to 5 ordinances, first reading, ordinance number 699. And Mr. Waters is going to present and read.
I'll come to the podium for
All
this one.
right, thank you.
Hello, Council. Paul Waters, City Attorney. So what I'll do first is I'll read the short title of the ordinance, which is ordinance number 699. This is an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Orange City, Florida, amending Section 9-20 titled Building and Structures, constituting a danger of Article 4, Chapter 9, Property Maintenance of the City of Orange City Code of Ordinances, providing for procedures for the abatement of unsafe and dangerous buildings, including those requiring demolition or removal, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. And that was the first of 2 readings. So what we have here is an amendment to our code, and this amendment basically gives due process to someone before you demolish their home. It does a few things. Number one, it adopts the part of the Florida Building Code that deals with classifying buildings as unsafe or hazardous. And it also lays out a procedure that allows you to consider a building unsafe as a nuisance and unsafe, and it allows you to demolish that building. And this all came up because we actually have a building that is unsafe and that is a nuisance. But what we don't have is a procedure in your code that gives someone due process before you bulldoze their house down. So this is what this ordinance does. It actually gives the procedure just like it would be a code enforcement proceeding. It puts them on notice that you're going to find their building unsafe and hazardous and a nuisance. And it gives them a chance to appear. It gives them a chance to provide evidence why they think it's not. It also puts them on notice or gives them time to fix it. And if they don't fix it, it gives you the authority to tear it down. And by the way, if you do tear it down, you can lien the property for the amount, or you can assess the cost of bulldozing down a house. You can assess that to the property owner. Usually that's in a lien. If it's a homestead property, you can't foreclose on it, but if it is a homestead property, it'll just be a lien. So if the property's ever sold, the lien will have to be satisfied. So we do have one house that I'm aware of that as soon as this ordinance is passed, we're full speed ahead. So that's the purpose of the ordinance, and that was the first reading, and I'm here to answer any questions if you have any.
Is it only residential? Is it for commercial? Is it all buildings?
Any building.
Okay. Any questions from the council? No? Okay. All right, we're looking for a motion.
Madam Mayor, I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 699 at the first reading and schedule second and final reading for April 14th, 2026.
A second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Paul.
Councilmember Thompson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson? Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and ordinance number 699 passes at first reading. Moving on to 6, public hearing ordinances, second and final reading. We have none. 7, resolutions. We have none. 8, discussions and action. 8A, approve fiscal year 2026-27 budget development calendar. Devlin Moore.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. It is hard to believe it's this time of year again. It's that time of year that you get to see me quite a bit, and I'm sorry for that. But we're here, and I'm here to present the proposed budget calendar for fiscal year 2027. As you know, the budget calendar serves as a roadmap for completing a comprehensive budget, both operating and capital. The calendar ensures that we meet all the deadlines that are set by the city charter, trim, and other statutory deadlines, and it is built to engage all stakeholders, including citizens, staff, and city council. So I'm going to go over some of the key dates that are in the calendar, and then at the end, I'll be happy to take any suggestions or concerns that you have, or stop me as I go through. But we start off with the citizen budget input session on May 12th. That would be held at your regularly scheduled meeting, and that is a charter requirement to have that. And the thought is that it would be an opportunity for citizens to share their concerns or suggestions as it relates to the new budget. Then during your council meetings on May 26th, June 9th, and June 23rd, the departments will give their individual presentations where they showcase their major budget needs, and that kind of sets the stage for the remainder of the budget process. July is a busy time. It kicks off with the property appraiser releasing the preliminary certification of taxable value, which is what we need to calculate what the ad valorem revenue will be for the upcoming year. And then on July 14th, I will give a comprehensive budget overview presentation in preparation for you to set the proposed millage rate, which is slated for July 28th. And then on July 30th, with all that information being gathered, we will release the proposed budget to the City Council. In August, in your handout, it suggested that there'd be one-on-one budget meetings with staff and council during the week of August 10th. And that actually won't work because that's the week of the annual Florida League of Cities Conference. So
That's perfect.
So we're suggesting that we move it up to the week of August 3rd. And then a budget workshop would be held on August 17th, which is a Monday, to go over and tie up on any of the loose ends as it relates to the budget. September will be when you would adopt your final budget. This is the first time in a decade that I've been here where both the the county council and the school board are having their public hearings on your regular meetings both times. So TRIM requires us to not hold the public hearing in the same day as the school board and the county. So our recommendation is that your regularly scheduled meetings would move to Wednesday on both days, September 9th being your first public hearing and September 23rd being your second public hearing.
That's actually smart, because every year we have to approve to move our meeting right before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're planning ahead.
Yeah. Sometimes there's a bit of a delay in getting their schedule, and they were able to provide that up front this year, so it helped in the planning process. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions or take any suggestions, and if you're good with the calendar, we're looking for you to approve it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments with the calendar? Everybody good with the calendar? Okay, we just need a motion then.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the proposed fiscal year 2026-27 budget development calendar, establishing the schedule necessary to guide the preparation and adoption of a balanced budget.
We have a motion,
I'll second.
and we have a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question. Kaylee?
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson? Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Councilmember Tiomson?
Yes.
And Mayor Marks.
Yes, and fiscal year 2026-27 budget development calendar is approved. Moving on to 8B, we have consideration of sponsorship special event requests for the Walk for Life event at Mill Lake Park. Lizette Santiago.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. I'm Lizette Santiago with Parks and Recreation. Okay, let's get right into it. Okay, so this is, the city has received a sponsorship request from Hope Resource Center, doing business as Central Florida Pregnancy Center, Inc. for its Walk for Life event. Through this request, the organization is seeking in-kind city services to support the event, including the following. City inspector for approximately 2 hours, 1 parks maintenance specialist, rental of our 4 park pavilions, electrical service, the use of Mill Lake Park, waiver of the sign permit fee, and waiver of the special event application fee. The Walk for Life event is scheduled for April 11th, 2026, from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Mill Lake Park. This will be the 3rd year the event has been held at this location. According to the application submitted by Hope Resource Center, the total event budget is approximately $2,000 with an estimated attendance of 200 participants. The event is free and open to the public. Planned activities include a community walk around the lake, children's games, raffle baskets, and a food and bake sale. The total cost, of the requested in-kind services is $705, which includes $110 for 1 fire personnel for 2 hours, $200 for the park's maintenance, $320 in rental fees, that's pavilions and electric, $50 for the special event application fee, and $25 for the sign permit fee. The sponsorship review committee convened on March 10th to review the request, and the committee recommends approval of in-kind services of $705 for the Walk of Life event.
Thank you. Is the applicant here by any chance?
Yeah.
Do they want to say anything? No? No? Okay. Any questions? Council? I didn't mean to put you on spot. You never know. Okay. So we're just looking for a motion to approve, right?
Yep. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the Walk for Life event with non-monetary in-kind services valued at $705.
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question. Kaylee?
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson? Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Councilmember Thompson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
And Mayor Marks?
Yes, and this sponsorship for the Walk for Life event is approved at Mill Lake Park in kind. Thank you. All right, and then we have 8C, consideration of sponsorship, special event request for the Orange City Cirrhosis Club Easter egg hunt at Veterans Memorial Park. Lizette Santiago again.
Okay, so we have received sponsorship requests from the Orange City Cirrhosis Club for its annual Orange City Cirrhosis Club Easter egg hunt. The organization is requesting in-kind city services to support the event, which can include permitting, advertising, assistance, staff time, rental fees. The Cirrhosis Club Easter egg hunt is scheduled for March 28th, 2026 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Veterans Memorial Park. This event is an annual community tradition hosted by the Orange City Cirrhosis Club. According to the application submitted by the organization, the total event budget is approximately $1,700 with an estimated attendance of approximately 350 participants. The event is free and open to the public. Planned activities include bounce houses, games, an Easter egg hunt, photos with the Easter Bunny, and a complimentary lunch for children consisting of hot dogs and chips. The total value of the requested in-kind services is $475, which includes $475, which includes $280 for parks and maintenance, $120 for pavilion rentals and electrical service, $50 for the special event application fee, $25 for the sign permit fee. The Sponsorship Review Committee convened on March 10th to review this request and recommends approval of in-kind services in the amount of $475 for the Orange City Cirrhosis Club Easter egg hunt.
Thank you. Any questions from the council or discussion? No? I just had a question for the city manager. I wasn't here when we approved the sponsorships for the 3 groups. Wouldn't that fall into that? I was questioning why they even had to ask for it if they already got it.
I still believe we did not waive the process. We waived charging them.
Okay, so we still have to go through each event. Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we're looking for a motion.
Madam Mayor?
Oh, go ahead. No, you go.
What was it? Madam Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the Orange City Cirrhosis Club Easter egg hunt with a non-monetary in-kind services fee of $475.
I second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any public comment on this? Seeing none, we'll bring it back for the question.
Councilmember Richardson? Councilmember Darms?
Yes.
Councilmember Knight?
Yes.
Councilmember Tiomson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm?
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford?
Yes.
Mayor Marks?
Yes, and the sponsorship for the Orange City Cirrhosis Club Easter egg hunt is approved.
Thank you.
Get on to 8D. Under the new business item, Councilmember Lisa Stafford, March 10th, 2026. Discussion of the 2026 West Volusia Leadership Program. Christine Davis, City Manager, presenting.
Oh, no, I did draft up the agenda item. I did review it with Councilmember Stafford, and this is fully a council discussion.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Stafford, would you like to start it out since it's your item?
Yes, I would. My only question was, with the council person that want to attend is running for election. Don't know whether or not she will be in office. My question is, that's $1,200 that the city will be paying, and she informed me that she had her whatever, and I was questioning, is that being fair to our residents?
Okay.
That was my question.
I'm going to touch on this first, if you don't mind, Council. I was just thinking about it, and if we question that, we'd have to question League of Cities. We'd have to question a lot of things that we go to. When we sit on this council, we're here now, and we're serving now. I understand what you're saying, because you don't want to waste money if they're not going to be here, but we don't know that. Is there anybody else on the council that is interested in going? That was my first question.
I know Dana mentioned that she was interested.
But she's in the same situation.
Okay.
She's in the same situation, and that training doesn't end until December.
Right. So the other thing I was going to say is that, you know, I'll use the police officers as an example. When you train your officers, you don't know if they're going to quit or get fired tomorrow, but you still train them while they're on the job. And I think that, there's been a few people up here that have went to the leadership class, and I think you were one of them, Ms. Stafford, Councilwoman Stafford. And it's a great experience, whether you use it in the city fashion. It's leadership, and she still got until November to be a leader, so that's why I think that it's important. I'm going to turn it over to the council if
Okay,
you wanna go.
and since you're
ahead.
asking me, the reason I said that the training doesn't end until December, you can't use me because during the time I went to that leadership training program, I had a lot more time before my re-election. And I was willing to use my leadership abilities that the residents paid for the city.
Okay.
This is how I feel about that.
Is there any
And
council? Oh, sorry.
Please
ahead.
don't cut me off.
Go ahead.
Please don't.
I said I'm
Respect me
sorry. Go
enough.
ahead.
Okay. And this is my whole point. Using the police officers, none of them are elected by the people. Okay? Those individuals are appointed by our city staff. None of them are elected by the people. So, hey, I had residents ask me about that. Why are we doing this? And when they're always talking about we're going to be conscious, we're going to spend the city's money wisely, or however you all says it. You don't want to, you always say it, we're going to be fruitful of the city money, or however you all say it. Like I said, don't use, none of them are elected by the people.
Are you finished? I'll move on. Does anybody else want to speak? Nobody? Okay, well, I mean, I'm just gonna go with
I'd
the,
like to speak.
you do?
Yep,
Okay, I
was
didn't.
making sure that she was finished
Okay.
and everybody else did
Go
not
ahead.
want to interject. The first thing I wanted to say was, you brought up my background for accounting, and I fail to see how my, I'm sorry. Is that
You ain't gotta
not
be sorry because
acceptable?
you brought that
Excuse
up to
me.
me.
Excuse me, she's
Talking
got the
to me.
floor. Nope, this is not a discussion.
Hey.
She has the floor.
Okay,
She-
Kelly, please don't do this.
I am
You're not
telling
gonna
you right now, as
silence
the
me.
chair, you
You're
do not
gonna
have the
silence
floor.
me. You're
If
not
you
gonna silence
continue
me.
to
She
do what you're
asked me
gonna
a-
do, I'm gonna have you removed.
Ask me a
Point
question.
of order, so let's just move past that, okay?
Okay.
So I fail to see how my accounting background is relevant to the attendance of the leadership of West Volusia, and as established by the consensus on the February 24th council meeting, it was agreed who would attend alongside city staff. The $1,200 is for 3 people, not just me, correct?
You go.
Just to clarify, it's 1,200 per person.
Per person, okay. So 1,200 per person. And it was agreed upon along city staff specifically alongside the staff of Deputy Chief Masters and Ms. Gonzalez, who is the Deputy Development Services Director. The city manager, Christine, mentioned that Councilmember Knight reiterated that I expressed interest in attending in 2025. So that hasn't changed, and I'm still on the council. And if I'm not mistaken, you are up for the election in November, is your statement that you made to me. And what if I don't get elected? That's a fair question, but it has no bearing on whether or not I can go to a leadership class. But I appreciate that. And then I've always conducted myself professionally in interactions with you, and this appears to be a personal thing, and I'm at a loss for that.
Are you done, Councilwoman Thompson?
I think so.
Councilwoman Stafford?
Okay, this is nothing personal. When I brought up because when you spoke with me, you said that you had a background in accounting. When I was asking about certain things, we made that decision.
She's got the floor, Councilwoman Thompson.
She does.
When we all made the decision that, okay, because like we were saying, only one person could attend, whether it was you or Dana, it was going to be the same question. We were all excited about somebody wanting to go. We weren't thinking about what was going on, that it was election time. We were just being, and I do feel like the council need to really think about things before we just so happily voted on it, because it sounds good. We like to see everybody reach their goals or whatever they want to do. And we just wasn't thinking.
Well, we're up
Oh,
here to
excuse
think-
me.
Right, attorney?
Wait a minute. She's got the floor.
Are you finished?
Yeah.
We're up
Councilwoman
here to
Thompson.
think. We're up here to make decisions, not just willy-nilly, oh, we're emotional and making decisions. Come on now.
Come on, now. Yeah, that's what I want to tell you.
Excuse
Come on
me,
now.
this is not an argument here.
So I
One
would
person
like
has the
to
floor.
Then, I guess, open it back up, since we've already made a decision. Council, how would you handle that, since they've already said, let's do this? Do we need to revote? Do we need to redo this?
Madam Chair, it's the council's discretion whether you'd like to entertain a motion.
Right.
So you can anyone can make a motion to approve, motion to deny. It could die for lack of a motion.
Right.
It could be just for discussion.
Before we do that, though, I just want to stress that when you open this up, I understand why you're saying it, but we're going to spend lots of money at League of Cities this year. How many people are going? We're talking thousands of dollars, and that's okay. We're going to go to League of Cities, and we're all going to learn, and maybe some of these people up here, at least 3, may not be on this council. So should we just cancel that too? Because that's the same thing. Go ahead.
It's something to think about. Maybe we should. What do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think it's wonderful to go, when we go to the League of Cities, we actually, same thing as a leadership class. You go there, you meet other people that are in your industry, you share ideas for cities and ideas different things to learn from each other. I mean, I've had conversations with other mayors, even as vice mayor, sat there and talked to different cities and get ideas on, we all have similar problems, right? So we share ideas and we try to rise above and come to new conclusions on what we can do. Same with the city manager. She talks to other city managers there. Same thing with leadership. I know that Chief has been at the leadership too. He has spoke highly of that class. I'm trying to think who else went. I know Alex went, but Fran, what do you think about that class?
It was exceptional. For me, it was kind of an awakening because as I was listening to a lot of things, I'd been in a manager and all that, and I'm sitting there going, wow, I did that. Wow, I did that. So I felt that what I was getting from it was really valid because whatever I did was really successful in me helping others. So my feeling is if the person wants to go and they don't get back on they're still going to finish it, whether they come back to the seat or not. But it's a valuable lesson to learn. I'm sure Chief Jerome agrees with that. You know, we had a lot of fun and we learned a lot. So.
And Devlin went too, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how I feel. I think it's really well worth going because if you haven't gotten the information that they provide, it's good to get it in one way or form or another.
And the other thing I was going to say is, just to be very transparent with everybody, League of Cities, all the cities in Florida go, and they have most of their city council there. So we're not out of the sort to go. It's a thing. It's a training for us to learn new ideas, new ways to. We take several workshops to learn things, right? So I personally think it's very enriching for us to learn. I have not been to the leadership class. I actually pushed on the council to go to do this, and the council was kind of fighting me on at the time because of the money. And then I signed up and I got COVID, so that's when we started, and I never got to go. And I wanted to go. No, I cannot go now. I have way too much commitments on my plate. As much as I would love to experience that, I have to say no because I know it's a large commitment. Everybody that went, you have to put a lot of time in, and I don't have it right now, so I don't want to commit to something that I can't do. So that's why I'm not going. But I guess we just.
So at the end of it, if I can make one more comment. So I would like to also say that just because I may or may not be elected in November or even in the primary in August, doesn't mean that I wouldn't be some sort of city leader or have a leadership role in the city.
Ms. Thompson, can you address the whole council?
Absolutely.
Because it seems like you're addressing one person.
She was looking at me, so I thought
I
I
know.
looked that way. But yeah, that's exactly why I'm thinking that I'm going to be here. I'm going to obviously be some sort of integral part of the city, whether or not it's on the council or I decide to, I don't know, maybe I'll look at all of the nonprofits and see if I can do some sort of collaboration with all the nonprofits in Orange City and spearhead something like that. You never know. So that's what I'm just saying.
Councilwoman Stafford?
And I think you're missing my whole point. My thing is, and I have no problem, the leadership program is excellent for any and everybody. But when we were talking about being transparent and being, say, futile with the taxpayers' dollars, and people were asking this question, it's not whether or not she's going to get the type of training she needs. It's not about that. It's about people wondering why are we spending our monies and she's not going to be here. That's the whole thing was about. She just explained that, hey, if she goes, she's still going to be participating with the city and any of, if she doesn't win the election, she's still going to be here with the city offering a service. So it wasn't that I didn't feel like she didn't need the training. It's not that. It was what they asked me is why are we spending taxpayers' dollars?
Okay.
Because she brought it up about her finance and everything. I didn't.
So I think it was a good conversation to put it out there so everybody could hear
Yep.
Right?
Agreed.
Where the money's going, what we're doing with the money, because I think this council really wants that transparency, so,
Absolutely.
thank you for bringing that up. So in that case, we just need a motion either way.
Or not, and
Head
it
nod?
dies,
Yeah.
so it's up to,
Oh, okay.
It was just a discussion.
Oh, okay. All right, so, we just need a head nod that it's okay that Councilwoman Thompson still goes to the leadership class. Is that correct? Is that what you wanted me to say? We're
We've already-
opposite.
we've already, I think the council's already voted on that. I think this is just a discussion. If anyone wanted to make a motion, they're
Okay.
certainly free.
Motion that dies.
Okay, I see. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on then.
All right.
Okay, we're moving on to reports. City manager?
Three items. The first item is a handout from Devin Moore, our finance director. Recently, there was an AI video posted that interpreted the ACFR Comprehensive Annual Financial Report that you all received. And so this is just some clarifying information in light of that misinformation. This is definitely a public record. It's being afforded to you all, and if we ever have any requests, we will share it. It's pretty comprehensive. So once you've had a chance to review it, if you have any questions, feel free. If you haven't seen the video, fine. But if you do see it, this will shed some light on some of the misinformation. The next item is a even heavier lift, and that is a report on the Public Works facility. So recently, we had some electrical work, and subsequent from there, I asked staff to look at the facility and consider, what have we been doing down in that metal building for the last 30 years? And we found out that we've been doing a lot of things just to get by. Not in the last year, not in the last 5 years. It's arguably decades worth of modifications and so forth. And it was deemed that, we do not need to be utilizing that building the way it stands. And staff immediately went to work, moved out of the facility, are operating out of City Hall, and still fully functional. And fortunately, the bottom floor was empty in preparation for the renovations that are forthcoming. So this is a rather comprehensive cost estimate for how we could move forward. There's much needed demo work inside of the facility. I know I'm loud, but I may not be loud enough for online. I apologize. So there's some much needed work inside the facility to restore it to a condition where it would be arguably a better working environment for the function of a public works garage. Over the years, they have added storage, they have added offices, and they don't meet our current code. So the first request will be to authorize us to proceed with some demolition work in there. The overall recommended plan is to take an area on the Public Works site and develop it and place 2 construction trailers on there and improve the site. This is not an inexpensive endeavor. However, it is a long-term fix. The estimated time that this work would benefit our employees and the city is 15 to 20 years. Knowing that we are currently looking at the undertaking of addressing our facility needs in the way of a public works, fire, and police facility, it is unknown as to when this building would be addressed. However, we cannot build it back to what they've been operating out of. We won't meet today's standards. So it's not a viable option to rip it out and redo it. It will not accommodate that. So the plan is to take an area that was identified for occupancy when we do the construction and set up shop or offices in that area. That includes clearing, site work, construction of infrastructure to support 2 contractors type facilities. They have, I believe, a wind rating of 140, which is much greater than what the current building they operate out of, and we vacate during a hurricane. And it would provide a long-term solution. So the overall estimated cost for the recommended path forward is $1,329,377.50. We would propose to bring back a future agenda item to ratify this and give you more information, but I wanted to give you a report of where we're going. And tonight, we're really looking, it's kind of it will need to be fast-tracked. We do not have a lot of time to say, oh, what do? We know we have a problem, and now we need to fix it. And there's not a lot of options. I don't see us prioritizing public works over fire at this point. And there's no current funding to support financing of building that public works facility that we have at 30%. So this is arguably going to be a path forward that would provide some long-term stability for that department for 15 plus years to go. We have funding on hand in the construction fund, impact fees, and possibly some CRA funds we could tap into to be able to address this. The second option, which is not viable, according to staff, would be to only do the 1 trailer, and that reduces it by $400,000, but you still have constraints of where are the people going to be housed. And in that option, you would have people who would arguably be operating out of their car and not be able to necessarily have an office. I have plenty of staff here that's been working very feverishly to get us this information tonight. John Peters was a lead on this, along with Chief Long and our assistant city manager, who has moved to the back of the room. And so if you have some questions, we can work to address them. But we definitely have a situation, and we have got to take some corrective action for this.
So have we looked into, I'm sure you have, but rentals versus renting a building versus building infrastructure?
That question was
Site work.
asked, and the recommendation from our construction engineering team was that would not be a recommendation to last for 15 years. You would not want to rent a building for 15 to 20 years. It would be a better option to own it.
And then the other question is, you said we can't pull fire off the thing right now.
Well, I
Can you
don't know
explain?
how we could, given we know their limitations, and that building we're investing $50,000 to $60,000 a year on a mobile home that is met its useful life. It was supposed to be a temporary facility. I think we're on 12, 13 years in that situation, and we have prioritized that with the legislator. And we are working on a fire assessment fee. We had a meeting today, and that's moving forward. The fire assessment fee would then provide our debt service on helping. How do we pay for that debt service? We do not have a debt service amount today for police or for the public works facility. So that's why I don't see how we could prioritize this, knowing we don't have any revenue to support debt service to be able to build that building.
And the only reason I brought that up, I will always say public safety first in my eyes. I only brought that up because what I'm seeing is Public Works doesn't have a building. They don't have anywhere to go right now.
Well, they've been working out of a garage for 30
they
years.
have, but
and adding
but they were
offices.
there. They were operating out of that building. Obviously, we didn't know. Well, we knew how bad the building was.
Yeah, you've
that
walked
was
through
no
it.
doubt.
And we're pointing
and
out,
that's why
"Ooh."
we added it to the master facilities plan in the
Absolutely.
first place. But now we're at another stop here where they don't have anywhere to go because they had to be removed from the building because of findings that were unacceptable, to be
concerns.
honest with you. It should have never happened, but that's old news, right? So, so what the manager's saying right now is, you know, this is our choices in front of us, which is $1.3 million, but does that $1.3 million cover 15 to 20 years?
It would, I mean, I think the answer to that is yes. There'll be routine maintenance,
Yeah.
but you will be giving them adequate space to operate out of, and for it's an expansion. What they were currently working out of, it was much less, and so this will provide a safe and for a long time to come, a comfortable working environment, not what they were currently.
And one more thing, the other thing that I just wanted to put this out to the council, so you knew, if you don't know already, is that she wants to purchase these. They're not rentals. We want to purchase these, so that's why that would be the price. Just important.
Versus a rental over years.
Right.
Correct.
Who wants to speak? Councilwoman Thompson, or?
Yeah, I just had a statement about it. So I believe that when we spoke, you said that there were, the buildings were to a more higher standard. They're not like just a regular
It's
modular
commercial
building.
grade,
Yeah,
not a
commercial grade.
residential
So
structure.
it has more girth
Hardy.
to it. It's hardy. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. And then the other question with that was, if we are looking at 1.3 million for two versus 925,000 for one, would we arguably get a better discount on three if we tried to get it for the fire department? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, the fire department isn't just the facility that they live in. It's also the structure of where they house your thousands of dollars of apparatus. So it would not be a recommendation if all else failed and you had no other option and you weren't looking at possible legislator funding, you weren't looking at the fire assessment, you might back yourself into that corner. But today that would not be a priority. If everything fell, well then yes, we could revisit a $400,000 structure over putting 50 to 60,000 in this one year over year.
That was my point, because we
Absolutely.
keep putting a Band-Aid on the old
It is a
one,
valid.
and they're in that old one as it is. If you got something that was more
No,
hardy,
It is a
then there you
valid
go.
question.
Okay.
Anybody else? The other thing I was thinking about is, couldn't we purchase another property with a large building on there to house them for that much and own the property, and then eventually it'd be like an investment that you could sell later once they get in, to where they are?
So I know we've shopped for property in the past 5 years, and it's been a dismal experience but that was mainly looking for land to put the fire station on. We did try to look at properties that were commercial where we could operate, and we typically saw that they were sold before we could take any real action. And the problem I see is time. We do not have time to go to the market and shop. And we have the property, and we were already in the plan for the redevelopment when we get there. This is where a construction trailer was going, because they had to move out of that building. So we're kind of a little ahead of the game, because we would have been investing in this to some extent when it came time to build that public works to house our folks. And now it will be there and give us a much better working environment for a long time to come.
And so you said the construction fund.
We will come back with
Impact fees?
Yeah, basically tonight I'm looking for approval to start the demo work that's in the building, because we can't use the building until we take out the concerns, and then work to put back in what we will need to operate in a safer environment. That includes the storage. We'll go back in. What'll come out are the old storage that's not necessarily up to a standard we would want, and then the offices that have been built over the years that we won't use, and the like a staff room. That all will come out, and you will now have a garage facility that operates. The front offices will still be there, that you go to the door and you can see, and that's part of the original. Anything outside, once you get into the bay, that's where we need to get in and demo. And that has to happen, because until we can start fully functioning out of there, we've got to get rid of that construction that's been done for many years ago and put back in what we need, which will be the storage, but a better storage and arguably safe. So I'm looking for permission to move forward with that. That item is, excuse me, existing public works demolition and reconstruction. It's estimated to be about $100,000, so I'm looking for approval tonight to move forward with that. And then on the next agenda, to bring back to amend the budget and give you a formal action for approving a budget amendment to address the 1.329 million proposal, and we can give you, a lot more information. This got prepared and finalized. I wanted to give you as much information tonight and to get approval to work on the demo, and then come back and formally get approval and amend the budget for the next segments, which are the site work, modular building, consultant services. And that was it, because I'm getting permission to move forward with the demo of the building, the interior, what we need to get out of there, so that we can then move forward to getting back into that building, just to walk in it and grab stuff and have a meeting in there, but in the Bay Area, no offices. So I'm looking for permission to do that.
Okay, before Vice Mayor has a question, but I just want to say, so that right now they're all in City Hall, right? Is that where they're all at?
Yeah.
And then, because we were renovating City Hall, is renovation done in City Hall?
No, that's
Okay.
under with JL2 at the
Yeah.
moment for design, so we can go out to bid.
Okay, so
So-
they're working in there, and it kind of stopped work until we figure out where
No,
they're going?
we're
or-
still going to work on finishing the design so we can go out to build.
And then after we move them out of there, who goes into where they're at?
Nobody. Hopefully, the interior work will start once, time-wise. I don't think they'll. If we can keep this moving forward, then I don't think we'll have an issue with moving forward with the interior renovations, because we are not ready to bid the interior renovations today. They are still in design, so we do have some time. But I don't want to, if this gets belabored or slowed down, well, then we might run into a delay in the interior renovations. But right now, we're not facing a delay.
So my question was, who moves in after the renovations then? When we're done with City Hall renovations, which is going to be a while,
Yeah.
who moves in there?
It would go back to the way it was. You'll have development services on the bottom floor, you'll have administration on the middle, and finance on the top.
So the building that we're renting across the street for development services, we would give that back?
The
We would-
lease would come to an end. We would notify them that we no
Okay.
longer need to lease the building.
And that's about $60,000 a year, right?
It is.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor?
Yeah, I have a question. We have the property, and you're talking about buying 2 trailers.
Construction trailers.
For $1 million, can we get a prefab concrete building? I mean, that
You
would,
might, but you're still looking at the site work. A large part of this is your site work at $748,000. If you wanted to construct a building, there's two points I would make there. One, it would drive your cost up, and two, that is not a permanent location for a permanent structure in the plan that you've approved to 30% for your public works department. So those would be the two things that I would say why we don't build a building there today. One, it's not in the plan for the 30% design to have a brick and mortar building there. And two, if we think 1.3 million is expensive, I would believe the cost to build a 2,600 square foot facility would have to be considerably more than the 400,000 that we're looking at. Would we like to ask an engineer? One moment. Mayor, would you like?
Sure, yeah.
Coming up, John.
Come on down. We're not just talking about $1,200, we're talking about 1.3. We just want to know.
John, do you need the question restated?
Yeah, please.
So the question is, you're looking at a 1.3 $0.3 million investment, why would we not consider building a brick and mortar building?
Okay, prefab, actually.
Or a prefab building? What would that be?
Stand them up, put
Oh,
roof
the
on,
tilt
you're
walls. The tilt wall buildings, a
I'm talking about like your Walmart, your Home Depots. they
tilt
just
wall. That's a tilt wall.
Tilt-up construction. Several problems with that. I'm going to address some things that have been said here. I've been sitting back there biting my tongue. The question was asked, about people being in City Hall. We have turned this project around in less than 2 weeks. We have almost complete site plans already done. Because we need to be out of City Hall, in my view, by September. By the time JL2 gets the design done, they'll be doing it floor by floor. There's some options we have with regard to hiring contractors because it's a historic building. My recommendation as city manager is going to be that we pre-select bidders based on their competency in dealing with historic structures. We do not want, I'm not demeaning them, we don't want a residential contractor working on a historic building. So my recommendation is going to be that we pre-qualify the contractors. JL2 estimate of when they had the plans ready will be sometime in early summer. By the time we go through the bid process, that'll be September, that we'll be ready to go to construction. So, in the back of my mind, the way I work is I look at, okay, when do I need this, and I back it up, and I base my schedule on it. So that's part of the reason that we felt like we need to get this site plan done quickly and an estimate done tonight, so that we can be proceeding. The biggest advantage of the modular construction is they build it somewhere else. You can get delivery much quicker than if you design a stick-built or tilt-up or any modular type, other types of construction. You have to have it designed, which takes more time. The modular building we had a whole catalog of different floor plans. We selected 2 of them, and that's where the pricing came from. So from a time standpoint, we kind of stuck. But more importantly, if we were to do tilt-up or stick-built, we're looking at a building cost at least twice as much. These modular homes are not like the old days of mobile homes. These buildings are built to withstand hurricane lows, wind lows, uplift. They're tied down. So unlike now, when we have a hurricane, the public works folks cannot be in the public works building. I would never recommend they be in the current building during a hurricane. They come to City Hall. With these modular buildings, they will be able to be stationed in the modular building because they're designed for that.
Well, we may have to take everybody into them then, because most of our buildings are not hurricane rated, right?
Yes, ma'am. But the key here is we would be creating a safe building for them to be in during a hurricane event. So my recommendation going forward is that we go with the modular type construction. The bid process has already been handled. This is on a GSA contract. So the pricing's already been bid, and it's very competitive bidding process. So even if we did a stick-built, we would have to go out to bid, which would take close to 60 days. Yeah. Goes on and on and on. The quickest I think we could be in a stick-built or tilt-built building would be about this time next year. So that would essentially delay the City Hall work from September to March, 6 months. So that's the reason we're making the recommendation that we are.
I appreciate the hard work. I appreciate moving quick, and all the processes you have to go through to get to this. The only thing that doesn't sit well with me is that I feel like we're rushing this. This is a lot of money, and we're rushing it. They're in City Hall right now. So why, and maybe you can tell me the reason, but why can't we hold up City Hall renovation and have them in there, and you take a little more slower time on looking around on what the options are? Because you did this in 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, you're trying to, I see the urgency. You want them to have a place to go. And it's probably very uncomfortable for them to be in City Hall right now, because I saw they have curtains up and they're all on different desks and things like that. But this is such a lot of money, and we're trying to pinch pennies here on everything, right? And so when I look at that number, 1.3, it scares me. Like, I think that's a lot of money to drop on trailers. I know they're hurricane rated. You know, everybody thinks in Florida trailers, you don't live in a trailer during a hurricane, but you all said that they're rated, you know, really high for winds and things like that, which are probably better than where the fire is right now. They're in the old church, and, you know, all the emergency operations is not even hurricane rated, right? So we're in that position anyway. But I just feel like we're rushing, and I don't like that feeling. So I don't know if you all have any comments.
I think I would have a question. I understand the concern for the rush. My question is, any other option we bring back to you, yes, it would take some more time, but it would also cost more. So this is the most equitable recommendation to achieve, I think, all the goals. And the goals are fiscally responsible, but yet provide for our employees and for the safety of the operation. And we're happy to explore other options, and we can slow this down. The concern is the end result would just be spending more money and investing in another property when we already own the property and we've invested thousands of dollars to get to the 30% design seems counterproductive. So we are happy to take your recommendation to go look at other properties, but I don't think the city's in the need to buy property.
And how much do we invest in the 30%?
That was probably $300,000 to $400,000 so far, to tear down that building and redevelop it, on the pretty picture we saw in the CRA presentation. So if, you know, I hear you. So we're here, we're telling you, yep, sorry, one moment.
No, just gonna add something to it, that's all.
Okay, so whatever direction you want to provide, we're happy to entertain. And then I guess, if you don't mind, Mr. Peters has something he'd like to say.
Mr. Peters?
I wanted to lay one of the mayor's concerns here. You need to remember that we went through a 30% design process with the Public Works building. Yeah. It was determined at that time that the most cost-effective building was basically a metal building. It's been prettied up, but it's a metal building. So we know what the most cost-effective building is, having gone through that process. Even at that, it has to be designed, the interior has to be designed. So it's a time thing, but because a lot of this, the reason we were able to turn this around in less than 2 weeks, because we've done a lot of the legwork already. The parking lot, it's the same type parking lot we have on Holly. It's a gravel parking lot with the grid system. That made it easy. It's far cheaper than asphalt. So we reduced the cost significantly on the parking lot. Joe can kill me for saying that. Unfortunately, we have city code requirements. We have to put trees in. We have to put black vinyl fence in on the front of the property. We need to secure the property, so we have to fence the balance of it. So, you know, some of the code requirements add some cost, but when you go through the list, that really wasn't a very big number. It was just the totality of it. When I started the thing, I really thought that the site work was going to be under 500,000. Boy, I blew that one. I was about 50% off. But those are real numbers. I did inflate them some because I don't want to be the low bidder when we finish. So they may be a little on the high side, I'm hoping. But, you know, we did have numbers from the Holly parking lot. I didn't go with the low bidder. I went with the next one. But there wasn't a huge difference. You know, we had to put sewer to the property. We have a sewer force main, so unfortunately we got to build a small package lift station. So there's no fat in here. The only thing really to discuss was whether we do one or two buildings. And I think we, staff-wise, believe that if we're going to invest in 15 to 20 years, go ahead and build the two now. Let's go ahead and pull the Band-Aid off real fast, because the cost of coming back later and putting a second building will be dramatically higher, because we will have to undo a lot of the work that we're doing. Because obviously we would not put in 31 parking spaces for a single building. We would only put in about 14 to 17. So, you know, we would have to destroy part of the parking lot in order to be able to extend it. So, you know, if you're going to do it now, because it will cost you a lot more later to put a second building in.
Vice Mayor?
So John, these hurricane trailers, they'll be able to sustain 15, 20 years. Public Works will be able to work in them 15, 20 years, no problems?
Yes, sir. What I did on this design is I gave Christine a long email on Friday about this. There's several ways that you can build these trailers.
Yes.
A lot of times you see them when they built them on cinder block piers and they strap them down. Well, that's not a 15, 20-year design. The other problem with that is something that we have a problem with at the fire department now with the water plant, is when you have an open, what I call an open plenum underneath, you get moisture. And you can put vapor barriers on the bottom of the building, but eventually the moisture can come up into the building. And the fire department lost a floor in the bathroom that way from the moisture underneath. So what I designed for two reasons. The one thing I absolutely hate about modular buildings is they make a killing on the ADA ramps. The ADA ramp for these things are $25,000 and a $4,500 installation cost. That's $30,000 for a handicap ramp. So what I did is I'm putting a slab in. The modular building will go flat on the slab. There'll be no plenum underneath, and we don't need a handicap ramp. So we're saving $30,000 a building by not having to do the handicap ramp. We end up with a construction that will last 15, 20 years because we won't have the moisture problem underneath. So a lot of that has gone into the design calculations. Might be a little bit more to put the slab in, but long term, it will last 15, 20 years.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, council? Comments?
It's gonna be my questions. What's the life expectancy of the buildings?
They have life expectancy over 30 years if you take care of it. That's one thing that we're going to have to monitor, because quite honestly, Christine's going to kill me tomorrow. Public Works did a lot of things that people weren't aware of. We have offices built into the garage area that should have had a 2-hour fire rating for the walls at a minimum. I joked that they're a negative 2-hour fire rating because they were built out of plywood. So if they had had a fire, it would have gone up like that. It's just a huge safety issue. So by removing the offices, we can do things like have a better sign shop where we can actually make the signs ourselves instead of having to buy them from somewhere else. That's going to save us money over the long term. They can't do that right now because they put offices in. Many years ago, they had space in there to do a lot of what I call manual work. They started putting offices in. They took away that space to where they could do the manual work, and we've been outsourcing a lot of it. So this is an opportunity for us to bring the work back in and be more efficient and more cost effective in terms of our operations. So I hate to tell that this was a godsend in some ways, but you know, we've all recognized that public works building was going to have a hard time ever being built. You don't get state funding for public works buildings. You get state funding for police and fire, and that's fine. We all understand that. But we have an opportunity at a very reasonable, I know the number sounds high, but comparatively speaking, 7, 8, 9 million for a new public works building, 1.39. And it's operational. So I just look at it that way. You know, the number looks big, but compared to what it could be in terms of building the facility that was conceived, the city coming out way ahead financially.
How do we discover that it was inhabitable?
Pardon me?
How do we know that this has been going on? How did the city manager, not, you weren't, before you, how do we not know this was going on? That's what I'm trying to figure out, because now we're taking care of a problem that's been going on for years, and now it's discovered. Who discovered it?
Mayor, I would just say this. I've been a public works utility director for over half of my career.
You're good at it.
Public works tends to be the department that doesn't get funding for buildings and stuff. So unfortunately, what typically happens in public works departments is when you have rain season or too cold to work, they stay in, they need something to do. They go, hey, it'd be nice if we had an office over here in the corner, and they build it. They're being efficient with their time. They think they're doing good, but they just don't understand. You got to get a building permit. You got to go through a process to have it designed. You got to make sure the electrical's done right, all that stuff. And unfortunately, in this particular case, it had been going on and on. And at some point, it gets to a point where you don't want to talk about it because you got to deal with it.
Well, I'm just saying that we hold our citizens under these rules, and we're not following them, and that doesn't look good on our part. And it's been, so we just turn the other eye and we let it happen, and now we're on a $1.3 million problem, right?
Well, I think I can answer your question. And that is, if you recall, I had to report that we had some electrical upgrades scheduled. And through that, we found out that the contractor hadn't pulled a permit and staff hadn't pulled a permit, and so I started an investigation. Well, that investigation didn't end after we got a permit and got the electrical back on. I then looked to staff and said, I need you to go down, and I need you to look at every inch of that building, and I need you to find out what's been done. And through that, they came back to me and reported that we had basically, in a nutshell, 3 permits. And that anything beyond those 3 permits did not appear to have a permit. So unlike our citizenry that sometimes faces this, and we have to tell them what they need to do, nobody had to tell me what we needed to do.
Right.
And that was, we noticed the building, and we stopped putting people in a dangerous situation. Therefore, we're taking the corrective action. And now the next hard part is how to move forward. And doing nothing, in my opinion, is not an option.
Right.
Waiting, any other option you send us down, we're happy to do it. But I can tell you it's going to come with a greater price tag and a longer corrective action plan. I think when I look at the estimated cost of that building new, it was like 13 million. So we are still less than 10, around 10%. And we're gonna get a return on that investment of 15 to 20 years. Yes, the buildings are rated to go longer, but we're not gonna rely on that because of 2 reasons. One, that's the pie in the sky, that the building's gonna last for 30 years. But like John said, we have a responsibility here, and our stewardship is to maintain the building, not ignore it. And 2, this allows us to address your public safety, your police, your fire building, and not ask the Public Works Department to make do and to figure things out on their own like I've sent a clear message. I know I worked for Dale. There's nobody, including Dale, that sent a message that it was okay, that the rules applied to somebody else.
Right.
I helped redo this building, and not once was there a corner cut. There was a permit pulled every time there was a permit needed, as much as I had to pull my hair out at times, because the codes that we're following aren't just local codes. They're your state building codes. We don't get to say, yes, they apply to us, no, they don't. We have to jump through those hoops. I empathize with how and what they did over the last 15 to 30 years. I empathize. I've walked in that building and never questioned, was that a permitted? We've given tours. Every council member, every ad hoc member, if Mr. Murphy's still here, has toured our facilities.
Yeah.
And never once did somebody say, how much of this work was permitted? It wasn't a question that was asked. And we have opened that to the public. We've invited our legislators to come in and walk through our facilities. And so I'm not here to make excuses, but I am here to say we have a problem and we need to fix it. and time is not on our side. You know, we are out of a building that houses, 15, 20 employees. Out of that small building, we have parks, public works, stormwater. I think I'm forgetting something, but that's half. There are 23 employees that are operating out of that. There are 26 employees that operate out of the 426 North Volusia. Look at the size of that facility. Look at the brand new offices that they were given through a restoration project. We didn't tear it down and rebuild it. We gutted that sucker. You walk through that, you've seen the wonderful improvements. That metal building does not provide us the opportunity to consider doing that. The building that they're operating at, we know it's a tear down. It's just a matter of when. So that's my soapbox, sorry.
Okay, council, we're looking for direction here. Do we need a motion for?
I would
the
like a motion to
100,000?
move forward with the demo.
For the $100,000.
For $100,000. I can tell you, I have already approved the shipping containers under modular building and shipping containers of $14,370 under my authority, so that we can move everything out of that building and put it in those while we do the restoration, demo and then restoration. But for tonight, I would like official motion to authorize us to move forward with the Public Works demolition and reconstruction for $100,000. And then no, we will bring back an agenda item next meeting to address the rest, so that we can then start the process of the site work, ordering the buildings, and so forth. And I will say one thing, the 30% design, the money that was invested is why we were able to do that site work so quickly, because we didn't have to get a survey. We didn't have to get, there was another thing. We had a lot of tools in our toolbox because of the money we invested on that 30% design. Not only did those tools have they already been paid for, but they helped that 2-week turnaround that you've seen. So.
Very good.
Mayor, I'd like to say so moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Easier.
Okay, we got a motion, we got a second. Any public comment on this? No? Okay, bring it back for the question.
Thank you. My last item, which is.
Sorry, I gotta call the vote.
Gotta call the
I'm
question.
so sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry. All right, Councilmember Darms.
Yes.
Councilmember Tiampson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Grimm.
Yes.
Councilmember Stafford.
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson. Councilmember Darms.
Yes.
Did
Yes. Oops. It's okay.
I? Oh, I started with you. Councilmember Knight.
Yes.
Mayor Marks. Did I wait?
Yeah, I did. I went.
You went, yes. We're getting
Yeah, I
delirious. Okay,
Okay.
you got everybody?
Sorry, I marked.
Okay, so the motion passes to,
Yes, it did.
direct the city manager to spend $100,000 to
The demo.
demolition, yeah, on the Public Works building. Okay. Go ahead.
Last item. School board called us again today. So anybody who's out in the YouTube world, pay attention. School board had a meeting today, and they are called us to let us know that on April 11th, they are set. It's a Saturday. They are looking to establish a date in the morning for folks to come in, walk the building, take pictures outside, and they were looking for an agreement for us to partner with them, and I have sent that message back through Joe that we would agree to, and that's mainly for refreshments.
For the old building?
The old building.
So it's safe to walk in there?
No, only on the outside.
Oh,
They're gonna have it
okay.
out on the lawn, we'll have some refreshments, people can take a picture at the front steps, talk to each other, commemorate, share their stories and their history, and that's, it's to be ratified, but that's the date they've set as a tentative, and they'll be working on a flyer, they'll get that to us, we will help broadcast that. The next item they addressed are, I'll call them artifacts. So they are looking to, I want to say salvage, but that sounds so bad. But to the Orange City Elementary sign on the front, they're looking to safeguard that and with a few other pieces. And they wanted to know if we were interested. My recommendation is that they allow us first right of refusal, in that I don't know what it's going to cost to move them. So I need to know, what does it look like when you get it down, and what is it going to cost us to, move it if it's relatively, something we can afford. But first right of refusal would be what I'd ask for. And then there was one other item. Joe, please,
about
do you
them?
mind? Yeah, it's about the school board.
Okay, so I have a
It's
question.
one piece, and I didn't write it down, and I've drawn a blank.
That's okay. So yeah, they are considering saving one of the cornerstones of the building and making kind of a on-site monument per se, commemorating the building with the historic sign, telling the story of the school.
Thank you. That was it.
So did they say why they wouldn't answer any of my calls? Because I was trying to find all this out, because people have been asking me, a lot of the residents have been asking, what's going on? Are we going to see it? So we got all our answers now. I hope, like I said, I hope everybody's listening and we can just tell everybody. But I did try. I want everybody to know I did try to talk to every board member, but they were also on spring break, so that didn't help.
Yeah.
Mayor, I think it's great that they're going to let us try to memorialize the signs and give us first right of refusal is what
That's
you're
my
going to ask
request.
for.
They're asking if we're
They're gonna ask
interested.
for.
I'd like first right of refusal, once they know what that is.
Right, and then they're gonna, on-site memorial would be great for the kids to be able to say, oh, it's an old building. The other thing is the school board wants to do this on 4/11, and I know a lot of the staff has already signed up for the Pat Northey 5K.
Yeah, we should be okay to make both. We just might be a little sweaty, because I think they're looking at 9 to 11, and that race is normally over by about 9. We would just be hustling, but you're right. There's a big turnout for that 5K.
There's also the Walk for Life that day too.
On the 11th?
Yeah, we just approved it
Oh, it was
tonight.
4th. It's
I'm pretty
okay.
sure it's April 11th.
Yes, it is. Walk for Life, Mill Lake Park.
Yeah, so,
It's gonna be a busy day.
it will be a very busy day. So with that, I don't really think I need direction other than a head nod would be nice, that I will let them know we could be interested in those pieces. We just need to be able to look at them, and then I would work with John and Youngblood to see about how do we move them if it's, if it's a piece of fixture and the other thing I thought about with Joe was we might be able to ask the contractor who's taking it down, could they give us a price to move it from there? And I would propose the Thorpe property, the Public Works property, where we would store it. Obviously outside, it's been outside. I'm not worried about the elements because of them. But if they're concerned, then we would look to use, maybe a Connex. But I don't know where else we could store them other than our Public Works yard.
Anything else?
Just a little head nod that you
Oh,
agree
yes.
to move forward with that. Okay, thank you.
Everybody good?
And that completes my report. If you have any questions.
Any questions for the city manager? No? Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on to the city clerk.
I'll keep it a little short. I just wanted to give a update for the election. So I do have 6 candidates as of now. For District 3, I have Don Thompson, Brett Marquez, Sherry Pugh. For District 4, I have Cassandra Jones. For District 5, I have Fran Darms. And for at-large, I have Dana Knight. I have had some interest, some calls asking if I'm available and whatnot. So
Still early.
I could potentially have some more candidates here in the near future, but that is the update that I have for tonight. And of course, as I get the updates, I'll provide them to you all as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the city clerk? Okay. Good. Moving on to city attorney.
Nothing for the group, Madam Mayor.
Okay. New business? Anybody?
I have something.
Okay.
So I'd like to, in the vein of being transparent, I'd like to bring back maybe an audit of what all of our expenditures have been as a council, maybe for since we're already in the second quarter of this year. I think that probably going back, I would think one other fiscal year besides this 6 months, because it's not going to give a true aspect. So kind of just what we spend as a council to just give that out as far as transparency is concerned. Expenditures.
I believe we can accommodate that. I believe a number of years ago, we set up in the tracking system, the ERP, and that we can give a report that shows what each member individually is has been paid out in regard to travel, training, per diem, and so forth. So I don't, now, can I generate the reports for everybody, issue them, and then if you want to bring it back to discuss, it would be a new business? Or is this something you want the reports and you want an agenda where we present it and you guys talk about it?
I think that it would be good to be able to just have a presentation maybe from accounting just to show what we have out there. Would that make sense?
Whatever you want. I'm just
Does that
clarifying.
make sense? Or
Sure.
is that a question? Yeah, so I think that would be, yeah, just to be able to see, and I think everyone can read a general ledger and pretty much just see, Dawn Thompson, this was your expenditures, and so on and so forth. I think we could do that.
Just need a motion and
Oh, okay, we need a motion for that,
for a new business item.
under
Oh,
new
yes.
business?
Can I make my own motion? Would someone else like
No,
to make
that's
a
not,
motion?
yeah.
Someone else.
I'll make the motion that we move forward with that.
We need a second.
Need a second.
We have a motion? Okay, we got a motion, we got a second. Move forward with that to bring back a report of
Expenditures for city council. Who is it?
expenditures for city council.
Okay. All right, then
Um,
motion, vote. Roll call.
Any public comment on this? Okay. Kaylee? Oh, sorry, hold on one second. Mr. Waters?
Clerk has to call roll, Madam
Yeah,
Clerk.
that's what I just said. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forgive me. Forgive me.
I know, we're all getting kind of delirious here.
Yes.
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 Yes, and we'll bring that back for
Only one
further
time?
discussion. Okay, any other new business? No? Okay, we're moving on. Approval of minutes, we already did that. Council and mayor's comments and reports. We'll start with Councilwoman Knight. You got anything? No? Councilwoman Stafford? Councilwoman Richardson? Councilwoman Thompson?
Yes, so I have I know that everyone that travels on the I-4 bridge work, they're doing that right now as we speak. They started Sunday. FDOT has, it's overnight, but just so everyone knows that there are scheduled work all through until Friday, March 27th for overnight, and it's all eastbound for the most part. And they do westbound from Dirksen. So I just wanted to let everybody know when you're traveling over the bridge and back to the other side, just to be cautious if you have anybody coming to visit, that kind of thing, because we all do travel I-4 from time to time. There's going to be a lot of construction from 10 to 6 a.m. all throughout the week. There was that, and I don't think I have anything else other than what my new business was. That's it.
Councilwoman Darms?
I want to commend all of our staff that does so many different things. I can mention a lot of names here. Joe Ruiz, Robert. And I want to really commend Justin Vallejo for what he does on our app. I mean, if you haven't checked the app, check it, because it's been very interesting lately. And I can't believe he has all this time to make these little videos, but they're good. They're very good, and makes me proud to be living here, because we got somebody who's willing to bring in a lot of information about the town. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
I'm good right now.
Okay, so I did the Meals on Wheels yesterday. If you're signed up, it's pretty cool to do that. We delivered to Orange City, to Barry, Lake Helen. It's also very sad to see, because there's a lot of seniors that need your help. And it's eye-opening. So if you get a chance to do that, volunteer with them. And I already talked to Christine. They were asking about a sign out front to let people know. Of course, I think y'all kind of know this, but they're outgrowing that building at Waba's Hall. And they have bingo and things like that. They're making shirts that have oranges on it. It says Senior Center, which I thought was super cute. That's one of their activities. And I was saying, when we went on the deliveries, all the deliveries in Orange City, they say, well, this is the mayor. And they go, oh, yeah, the mayor came to deliver me food, right? And then you go to Lake Helen or DeBarry, and they really don't care. Okay. So it's kind of funny to see that. I also ran into an old friend of Alex's, which was really cool, that was getting food, that worked for the OPD.
Nice.
So he said to say hello. And then also, I had the new bookstore, let me think, over here, that called me, and they were pretty upset. And they said that they have a problem with people parking in their bookstore, or not in their bookstore, but outside their bookstore. And so they had an altercation. I'll just say, I don't know if they call it an altercation, but a conversation with one of the councilwomen, and basically they asked them to move, and she said, I'll move, but I'll remember this. And so I wanted to put it out to the council, everybody, that just because you're on the council doesn't mean that you get special parking spots or things like that. That's their business. And so we have to be aware of that. And she was very upset. So I just wanted to put it out there that, just be kind, right? And be aware that they only have a couple parking spots. So, if you're not buying books, then we can't park there for council meetings, okay? And we got plenty of parking now, right? So I just wanted to put that out there. I wanted to say thank you to the staff. Thank you to Christine. I know you have been working really hard on that, and I want you to know that we're up here to discuss things and to make sure we're making the right decisions. And it's not to pick on anybody. It's just to make sure we're doing the right decisions, because we're responsible for the money, right? And I'm so sorry, Devlin, that you have to do what Dawn asked you to do. But she's inquiring about something on her mind. You know what I mean? So we all do that. We all have things. Councilwoman Stafford, you're inquiring about the 1,200. That's what we do up here. We want to make sure we're spending the money correctly. We want to make sure. So I think that's great that we all think that way. Yeah. And I just don't want anybody to think that it's any kind of a personal attack. It's not. It's just, let's talk it out. And when we walk out of here, we go home and we wait till the next 2 weeks, right? So in that note, thank you, everybody. Have a good night, and just need a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Got a motion. We got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.